Hi, my dearest beloved friends. I want to share with you one of my key childhood experiences, my first awakening to self-conscious life. I was 4 years of age then. And when it happened, my next question was, what really happened to me and what to do next? I felt like I needed some follow-up, some sort of mentorship, information. Now what? What should I do with this newly found state of being? It felt so great and strange at the same time. I began to see instant manifestation of my thoughts, instant cooperation with me and people in my environment, as if they were more than willing to do instantly what I asked them to do for me or together. I felt like I needed someone more experienced to teach and train me in my next steps. But the only one available was my grandma, who introduced me to church. And they started teaching me their doctrine, and they shared with me their interpretation of my experience. I was told that it was God who chose me to be someone very special, so I'm chosen by God, special status. And what I experienced was his assistance, his grace, and his blessing. And the next thing they told me, beware of pride. All of this has nothing to do with you. You are nobody and nothing. Give all praise and glory to God. And I believed it. And this is how I was easily recruited to become a part of this religious community. This is how black magic works. There are two types of the systems that we habitually call spirituality or spiritual life. Almine calls it much more accurately, the physical mastery. That's why we are the Institute of the Physical Mastery. Real life happens in physicality, not in so-called spirit realms. On the contrary, we should stay away from the spirit realms as much as possible. They are toxic and harmful for physical life. And the more accurate definitions are all means: the physical mastery, mastery of the physical life, conscious lifestyle, self-realization, self-advancement. Actually, there's only one true kind of self-advancement system. Of course, we're not talking about my path is the only path thing here. We're talking about the system that includes billions and billions of self-expressions. Like Almin says, that each one of us has his or her own peculiar interpretation of her work. So we're not talking about conformity. It's the system that includes billions of varieties of practical applications. One is being expressed as many. As we understand, we cannot focus on a certain only one particular way of doing things here. We're talking about the system in general. The other system is actually the black magic system, and its purpose is diametrically opposite to promoting self-growth, self-empowerment, self-realization, and the like. Its purpose is, on the contrary, to stifle and suppress a person until his last drop of his life force is squeezed out of him. It's people for the system and not the system for the people. And people are just an expendable material in this case. Now, in the age of internet, if someone is awakened to the search of deeper meaning of life, and people still associate it with the word spirituality, they Google spirituality, spiritual power, spiritual growth, enlightenment. Some people Google magic, metaphysics, divination, etc. And here are a lot of options, either world religions or so-called non-traditional, esoteric spirituality, new age spirituality, shamanic spirituality, and some sort of mystical, magical traditions and the like. If it's a religion, in most cases, it's just an invitation to join a religious community, just meet the church leaders, and they'll tell you what to do next. They'll tell you not to think. Just do what you're told to do, and you'll enjoy God's blessing. What kind of blessing? There's still no clear definition of the word blessing. If I ask you, what is the blessing? What is it to be blessed? What would you answer? I must admit that I personally don't know what to answer. Okay, what are other options? If it's a modern, non-traditional version or new age version, it may be an invitation to receive a free book or course, to harvest your email address, to add it to their mailing list, And you'll be receiving emails about how wonderful and powerful this spiritual teacher is, and that you are so fortunate to find this path. Not everyone can find it. It's only for the chosen ones. Basically the same as religions. People are expected to follow some spiritual authority in order to learn how to be a chosen one. As we already know, if we follow something or someone, our final destination will be a slaughterhouse. We are just an expendable material here in this situation. But it may sound so enticing. You are now very, very, very special, very, very, very privileged being. You'll be blessed and protected just because you follow this or that guru and obey him in everything what he tells you to do. Just because he's a guru and you're not. And there's no salvation without a guru. If you ever decide to leave your spiritual teacher or your spiritual community, your life will be totally destroyed or at least put at risk. Things like that. I personally spoke with some of those gurus, and somehow they felt like they could be open and sincere with me. They admitted that all that they do is just they use people as biological objects to extract financial and other resources. And somehow I was invited to their insiders meetings and trainings where all kinds of manipulation methods were introduced. It's really a complex science that uses multi-layered systems for people's induction and eventually hypnotizing them into a state of the obedient biological robots. The first step is establishing so-called trust rapport. Perhaps some of you know the word rapport from NLP or Ericksonian hypnosis, if you're familiar with those practices. Now, you know that we are not supposed to trust anyone except ourselves, and we don't acknowledge any higher spiritual authorities over us. But in my early childhood, I didn't know about them, and I was convinced that being obedient to priest or spiritual leader is a necessary part of the process. Then, if they successfully made us trust them, the rapport is established, the first critical step. Other steps are easy because if we entrusted our lives to our spiritual gurus, then we're ready to do anything we're told to do without any critical thinking. But true spiritual teacher will always tell us that discernment is a very, very important, vitally important part of our personal consciousness development. Almine once told us not to trust her every word. She asked us while listening to her not to accept everything she says as the final truth. We listen and we think, well, maybe it's true, maybe not. If some parts of what she says deeply resonate with us, then it's our truth. If something doesn't resonate, just forget about it. Only a true teacher of the truth can say that. The black magic teachers are telling their followers that they must agree with them in everything 100%. And in addition to that, they must obey them in everything. As you see, they're totally different systems. If we're encouraged to think and discern for ourselves, then we are on the right track. Also, Almine says that tribalism stifles creativity and growth and promotes conformity. If people in a system are not allowed to do free thinking, then they definitely participate in the black magic system. True teachers always ask to never trust them. And we are encouraged to trust ourselves and ourselves only. Black magic teacher wants to build a community around himself. He wants people willing and ready to sacrifice their lives for the guru. It's people for a guru, not a guru for people system. Definitely black magic energy, vampirism, and parasites. A leader uses people for his own personal interests and agendas. He uses them as slaves to work for him for free, to earn some mysterious blessings or a good karma, or in some extreme situation, they will live in some location and everyone had to sell everything they had and transfer it to their guru. In some light versions, people are allowed to have their own families, home life, but in order to keep themselves blessed and protected and the like, they must share a certain percentage of their income with their guru, We already covered it in detail in our Money and Black Magic video. The bottom line here is that in black magic systems, people are gathered into a tribe, a community. They must live according to the same rules, perform the same rituals at certain times of the day, and the like. It's also part of black magic science of social engineering. Everyone must be asked to do the same things with everyone else to keep conformity that creates a conducive environment for gurus' total control over community. So we beware of all so-called spiritual communities, where all people must think the same thoughts and perform the same rituals. Their goal is to take away a person from a person, to totally hijack their minds and their lives with all their financial and other resources, of course. So step one, establishing trust rapport. Step two, assign to the followers a special status. For example, angels in the flesh or star seeds. This is one of the most popular ones. Or the pharaohs or some sort of the high priesthood in the past lives. So if you found this guru in this community, it means that you are either a pharaoh or incarnation of the Most High God, or all, I don't know, maybe all other kinds of flattery. Since the trust report is established, those other things are no big deal, especially if people have issues with inferiority complex. They always wait for some God in the flesh to call them Pharaoh, Moses, Thoth, or Jesus, or whatever big name from past lives. Now, scientifically, they are totally owned by a guru. And if a guru asks them to give him $1 million, they will get it for him. It's an ancient science that has been used all over the world for all ages by all kinds of criminal and spiritual authorities. One of them cynically boasted to me that he can extract any amount of money or any possessions from any biological object. Most of them are very experienced in a trance-inducing hypnosis. That's why we never allow anyone to hypnotize us, and we never trust anyone or follow anyone. Otherwise, we would end up in a slaughterhouse. But there are true and pure places of sport for those who want to deepen their conscious self-awakening and conscious living. How to recognize them? First of all, they never ask for trust and they never ask for commitment. They're just information providers. And also, there's a great difference between so-called spiritual communities and networks. For example, we are a network. We're not a community. Community is a purely black magic engineering, because belonging to a group or community automatically kills people's unique individual self-expression and creativity. They're forced into a herd-like group mind. That's why in some of those communities, people are called the sheep, a cattle, a flock. If you're a healthy mind and conscious being, you'll never accept being called cattle or part of a flock. In a true high consciousness self-expression, there's no such thing as submission or obedience to a leader, or no one is forced to live according to some holy book of rules. There are no gurus and avatars here, no monarchs here, no His Grace, His Holiness, His Majesty, and the like. Although, definitely, some of us in our networks may be more advanced, more experienced for natural reasons. Like, for example, all of Team Almine Russia staff experienced their first awakening around their age of 4. Actually, it's all our staff and volunteers who work with us, with no exception. And we are now in our 40s and 50s. Of course, we are advanced and experienced for obvious natural reasons. And our beloved Sir Almine is much, 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 much more advanced and experienced than us, as she started her journey awakening in 1950s, when she was also around 4 years of age. And those who are more experienced are natural experts, who can be our mentors and life coaches. The difference between a black magic guru and high magic or high consciousness mentor is that a mentor just provides with all necessary information and shares his experience with no demands such as commitment or obedience and the like. It might be all kinds of formats, seminars, webinars, one-on-one coaching, private consultations. For example, if I may imagine a different scenario of my childhood. So after experiencing my first conscious awakening to my personal power, when I consciously got in touch with my true infinite self, I wished I would find a network of people of my kind who experienced the same. And some of them would be more advanced and experienced mentors. And I would have asked them about what happened with me. And instead of forcing me into a flock or into obedience, they would explain that, Sergey, you got a sense of your true self. You got a sense of your true potential, which is infinite. And now you know that everything is possible to you. You really can reach the stars. Only be sure that your lifestyle remains self-conscious, focused, responsible. Concentrate on your goals and create strategies for achieving them. Govern your thoughts, govern your feelings, never allow emotions to overpower you, and the like. Great teaching for a 4-year-old child. And then they would offer me an ongoing assistance. And actually, at the age of around 5, 6 years old, I was already relatively advanced in my piano skills and people skills, and I would have rather spent more time and efforts developing my skills. But because I got under religious black magic influence, I've lost millions of opportunities and thousands and thousands and thousands of days and hours. Because I was told that any desire to win prizes in international performance competitions is a pride, and it's of the devil. And I need to be quiet and humble and to pray at least 3-4 hours a day, and to never miss a church service, and to read the prayer book all the time. To make the very, 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 very long story short, at some point, I found a group in Moscow. Now I understand it was definitely a black magic group. At the entry level, people are promised to obtain all kinds of spiritual blessings, supernatural abilities, and the like, but not as a result of their self-work, but as a result of pleasing some invisible forces, angels, gods, and of course, including their spiritual leader, which means obedience in everything. And in order to please them, we are forced to attend every meeting, minimum 4 meetings per week, to read tons of spiritual literature with some sort of fairy tale information that tells about nothing. Later, I found that it's a technique of a mental overload, part of this black magic science, manipulation, control. And the leader of this group liked to do long speeches about nothing, no clarity of thought, no advanced information, but we were expected just to sit and to listen, whatever he was saying, because we had to supposedly receive some blessings in some mysterious ways by just listening to whatever he says. No clear information about what kind of specific blessings we're supposed to receive and how exactly our participation in the group would enrich our lives. Everything was blurry, foggy, and abstract. This is actually a clear sign of black magic in operation when things are blurry, foggy, and abstract. There was demand to empty our minds, some sort of meditations and spiritual practice to stop our minds, stop thinking, just listening to a guru. And while speaking, the guru could suddenly say something like, there are 10 or 20 people here in the auditorium that are specifically chosen by divine providence to give me $10,000. $10,000 to their beloved guru. And in return, they would receive some sort of very, very, very special blessings, spiritual gifts. Again, no specifics. What else can a person receive after emptying his wallet except empty wallet? The only one who was a receiver was the guru, who became $100,000 richer just within 30 minutes. I remember there were 10 people more than willing to do that. No wonder why he drove one of the most expensive vehicles and enjoyed extremely hedonistic lifestyle. I was young and inexperienced then. And I was involved in this situation for a couple of years until I finally decided to break up with that organization because I began to see that my life not only didn't improve, but became worse. No time for myself at all, endless meetings, readings, prayers, etc., etc. I knew some people there that didn't have time to take a shower for weeks. They didn't have enough time to take proper care of themselves. Most of those people had jobs, and after work, they had to run to their next meeting or prayer group or participate in a building project. Those groups used their biological objects, as they call them, as a free workforce in exchange for some mysterious gifts, blessings, things like that. In the high consciousness networks, and Team Almine Russia network is one of those networks, we don't have anything obligatory for everyone. We offer you an online store. You are not a flock. You are not a community. We lovingly call our network white family, but not to confuse it with community. In a community, they have a leader and his followers. In a network, there is no monarchical type of leadership. We are here for you as a team. Yes, we cannot deny that perhaps we are more experienced and advanced than some of us, but a mentor's true joy is not only to bring his student to his level, but to help his student to exceed him. This is why we are here. The network consists of independent individuals that have a common goal, self-empowerment and self-advancement. We as a team offer various tools, various information units to help you to achieve your personal goals and dreams. And we expect nothing from you in return, nothing. Some of you express their willingness to partner with us in maintaining our online resources and to use some of our products that we offer for purchase. But to offer literally means just to offer, not to coerce you to get things. We expect you to trust yourself, trust your personal discernment. Only you know what you need. We don't know it, and no one knows it instead of yourself. If someone says you must buy this product and that webinar because it's your inevitable next step and things like that, it's already a black magic. If someone tries to govern our lives and make decisions for us, it's a black magic. Also, in a network, everyone, even those who are brand new to Almine's work, can eventually become an expert and a mentor and an assistant. Some of them can reach certain levels of mentorship skills within months, even weeks. It depends on the level of your self-dedication and your self-work. There are no obligatory meetings, no obligatory events. Sometimes we offer webinars, but you can participate or you can choose not to participate. Only you know if you need it or not. We offer some courses, study courses, sound alchemy tools, other tools, and you can use all of this for your self-work, or you can choose not to use any of those tools and to do your self-work only relying on your personal intuition, your personal knowing. Perhaps you want to create your own tools or systems or strategies for personal self-advancement. And if you need any information or assistance, we are always here to help you, of course. If you ask us what our tips and life hacks will be for you, for your personal progress, we will say, be the most self-conscious and self-serving as much as you can be. Always put yourself first. Live for yourself first. And out of abundance of your personal resourcefulness, you naturally contribute into the well-being of your life. If you're a child or a teenager, do your very best at school. If you're a college student, do your very best as a college student. Get a profession, get a job, or start a business, and be your very best at what you do. We would encourage you to stay away from self-destructive habits such as alcohol consumption or using tobacco and recreational drugs. To highly value your personal time, we would highly encourage you to spend a lot of time in resting in silence. It activates your advanced potential as well as functions of your brain and bodily systems. Sleep a lot, as much as possible. It produces the same effects as rest and silence, but only in much more efficiency levels. We would recommend you to limit yourself or to completely abstain from mass media, TV, entertainment, and the like, except if you must use it for your professional reasons. Always be your very best in your business or at your workplace. Respect yourself and expect from others to respect you the way you respect yourself. Never tolerate disrespect, aggression, manipulation, and attempts to influence and govern your life, with no exceptions. In times of your silent rest, think a lot about yourself. Create, dream, plan, strategize your life. Wherever attention goes, power flows. If your attention is on yourself, you become more powerful, more resourceful. It means more advanced in your capacities. The more you think and direct your attention to yourself, the more advanced you become. Don't worry about others. Others will benefit from it always as a side effect. And Team Almine Russia is always here for you. Please feel free to ask us any questions, no forbidden topics, and let us know if you need any information or assistance. Our contact information is in the description of this video. Talk to you soon.